Hi, welcome to the video on how to complete the Phet exploration. What you're going to do is you are going to use the Phet exploration to build an atom with one proton, one neutron, one electron. Then you're going to change the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons one at a time. You change them one at a time. And monitor changes to the atoms, to the element of the atom, the mass, and the charge. So basically, when you change the number of protons, for example, what changes? Does the element change, the mass, or the charge change? As you are going, or at the end, you'll answer these questions, and you can just sort of answer them in your mind, so that will lead you to the next step of the pair deck. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the link. We're going to click on this link. First thing, you want to open up the Phet simulation. And when you do, it'll say build an atom. You want to click on the first one, which is atom. Okay, so here what you have is you have your atom model. There are no protons, neutrons, or electrons in it right now, and this is where you would add it. The X represents the nucleus. So here is where you would put your protons and neutrons, and the dotted blue lines, these are called electron shells. They are one way of describing different way of describing the electron cloud. That's where the electrons will go. They'll go on these electron shells. Now at the bottom here, of course, you have your protons, which are these orange balls or spheres, neutrons, which are gray, and the electrons, which are blue. On the side here, you have a periodic table, and once you add protons to the protons, neutrons, and electrons to this atom, this information will change. So this will tell you what type of element you have. Underneath the periodic table, you have net charge. This will tell you the charge of the atom, which is something you're monitoring. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you click the plus sign so that this now shows, and you can see right now, since there are no protons or electrons here, this has a net charge of 0. Also, the mass number, you're monitoring what happens to the mass, so you want to click on the plus sign as well. And now you have your mass number shown. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to build your atom, and the first atom you're building is one with one proton, one neutron, and one electron. So let's go ahead with the protons. Remember, the nucleus is the X, so we're going to move the protons to the X. And when you do that, notice what happens automatically. The element, net charge, and mass number change. Take a look at what those are. All right, now you can add a neutron, again, to the nucleus. And again, look at what has changed. What's changed so far? And then the electron. Okay. And again, you can take a look at what's changed. So here you can see in our tally up top, we have one proton, one neutron, one electron. This is your starting point. What you're going to do at this point, either on a piece of paper or screenshot it, you're going to take a look at when you have an atom with one proton, one neutron, one electron. What's the element? The element is hydrogen. What's the charge? The charge is 0, and then the mass number is 2. Now remember, we know that protons have a +1 charge and a mass of about 1 AMU. Neutrons have 0 charge or are neutral and have a mass of 1 AMU. Electrons have a -1 charge, and they are so tiny their mass is insignificant. So they have a mass of about 0 AMU. And AMU is just a unit for mass. It stands for atomic mass unit. It's like grams are a unit for mass. So anyway, so you have your setup now, and you have this information. Now what you're going to do is you're going to change one thing at a time. So let's say we want to change the protons. Let's add like 3 protons here. 1, 2, take a look on the side of what's happening. 3. As I added the 3 protons, what has changed? Did the element change? Did the net charge change? Did the mass number change? Okay, and so when you go back here, what happens when you change the number of protons? Whatever changes, you can, on a separate piece of paper, write what has changed. Was it the element, mass number, or the charges? And it could be more than one, so you can select all that apply. Let's go ahead and reset it. We're just going to remove the 3 extra protons. And now we're going to add some neutrons. So let's this time just add 2 neutrons. 1, 2. Again, you want to take a look over on this side, what has changed. And then you go to this question, what has happened when you change the number of neutrons. So you can record whatever changed when you added those 2 extra neutrons from our starting point. That's the one that, that's the thing that's changed. Let's put those back, and then you do the same thing with the electrons, and you can add as many electrons as you want, well, as can fit. So what the thing with the electrons is first shell, the one that's closest to the nucleus, can only fit 2 electrons. So if you try to add more, it's going to bounce back to the second shell. The second shell can fit 8, so you can fill it up with 8. So I'm just going to add, I added 4 extra electrons. Okay, again, now you're going to take a look to see, well, what has changed when we added those electrons? And then you would answer this question. Okay, so that is it for this video. Again, your starting point is the thing with the atom with 1 proton, 1 neutron, and 1 electron. And then from there, you'll change each one individually and use that to answer the questions. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Have a quality day.